Go ahead, Bob.
Okay. Sam, I think there's been, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 head coaches fired in season, which is pretty high. I think Ed Orgeron might be the only one that's coaching through the season. Just kind of what you think about that, and based on the film you've looked at since they announced Ed wasn't coming back. What have you seen from LSU?
Yeah, I think, and I'm not saying that it's right or anything of that nature about coaches getting fired early. It's hard. It makes it hard on the kids, the fan base, obviously the coaches. But I think it's happening a little bit faster now because of early signing date. I think everybody, I think I heard somebody, and I don't know if this is true, but maybe Texas Tech hired a coach, and make it very difficult on that coach. I'm sure he's very happy, but he's also employed, at I believe it was Baylor where he's coming from. So I think all these decisions we make, they have to have the kids in mind first, whatever's best for them. Number two thing is LSU, I believe, played as physical and as hard as they have all year last week. So Coach Orgeron certainly has the team still, and they're very, very talented. They're LSU, but from what I saw on film, compared to the other weeks, they've always played hard, but I thought they played extremely well, physical Saturday against Bama.
Coach, when's the last time you've been to Tiger Stadium, and when's the last time you've been there at night? And what's your thoughts on that?
Last time I was there at night was when we played, when I was here. I think that was the 16 season, if I'm correct. No, 13, 14, 15 season, sorry. And then we went back over there in, I think it was 17 when I was at Georgia. It might have been 18, but we went over there. It was a day game over there, and they beat us when I was, when we were at Georgia. But that's the last time I remember. A night game would have been my last year here, which would have been 15.
And just your thoughts on the environment? They say it's one of the craziest in all of college football.
Yeah, I mean, it's what college football is supposed to be. A lot of people, and they get, like I said before, they have plenty of time to get lathered up, and we're expecting a really good crowd. They support their team, and they'll be there. They'll support those kids, and we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a big emphasis on crowd noise this week for us, obviously.
What's your thoughts on where you guys are from penalty standpoint? Obviously, there was a lot last game, and last time, or not the last time, but when you guys went on the road against Georgia, it obviously played an impact very early on in that one.
You're going to get penalties. It's the ones that you really can control. And I know this, I'm sure I'll get people disagree with me here, but, holding, you're probably going to get a couple a game on both sides. It happens. Pass interference is such a, the one down in the end zone the other night that we got right before the half. It was a bang bang. If you slow it down and look at it, we were there a little early, but those things you're going to get. It's the stuff like we pick a pass and we hit somebody behind the play, which is basically automatic personal foul, no matter what. No matter how hard you hit him, no matter where you hit him, it's behind the ball. We call it the defenseless player. And then the false starts on offense and defense. Those are the ones that are coaching. And we have to get that fixed. We had several in the first half. One of them was strictly, and it's happened to me when I was the O-line coach, Ricky's making a call. He's making what we call a down call. We know nose is going to cross face. We've got a little gap scheme going. He's making a down call at the same time that KJ's calling for the ball. Those, we don't want them to happen. Those, I can see those happening. The one where we just forget the snap count or we're early, they have to stop, and the ones where we look at the football. And we work on it all the time. And Cody's kept them after practice, and we're going to do it again this week. And we've started clapping when we're doing our ball drills and individual and different things. But until we get disciplined enough, we're going to emphasize it again big time, because if we're going to get beat, let's somebody beat us. But to give them things, that's what was so frustrating about the first half, and then them scoring at the very end. You know, we had to fight at halftime the feeling of we're behind, and because I was frustrated. And but to answer your question, those we work on them, but they have to get fixed, or we've got to get players in there that can fix it.
Sam, this 20th game at Arkansas you came in, LSU won the national championship the year before you got here. You're going down there and you're in your 20th game here and you're favored over them. But did you ever think in the wildest expectation that the program would get to where it is this fast?
Well, I think it's a little bit of combination of the both teams, obviously. But I don't know. I've got a strong belief in the University of Arkansas. We came here to try to win football games, the best we know how. But no, going to LSU at night and being favored in year two, probably no.
Coach, where did the bowling ball come from, and why is it named Larry?
I love that question. So I sent Pat Doherty out to find a bowling ball. And he went to somewhere and he said, man, they're expensive. And so I said, well, go down the bowling alley. They may have one or two laying around, And so he bought Larry for $20. I did, actually. And it was great because when he brought the bowling ball back, it had the name Larry on it. And I thought it was awesome, And so obviously I'd told Hunter before the game that if we win, we're going to bring Larry out, and so that's where we got it. And Larry was purchased for $20. And the thing about that is, I said it was like a Super Bowl for me personally and our team. I don't know what a Super Bowl feeling is. I don't. I know what winning the Rose Bowl is like, and I know what playing in a national championship game and those things are like. My opinion is about our football team. And if you were in our locker room, it can't get a whole lot better than what it did. Now, that's not the goal, but that was one of the goals. And when we reach a goal, we're going to celebrate it.
Coach, I don't know if you saw this, but on the broadcast after the game, they caught Cam Little running over to the Mississippi State kicker after he missed the kick and sharing some words with him. What did you think about that? What's it say about him that he would do that in that spot?
Well, I thought it was awesome. I didn't know anything about it until, social media afterwards or yesterday or whatever it was. And that just shows you what kind of guy Cam Little is. And I'm glad he's on our team, and he certainly, played well. But for him to have the concern, and I don't know if they were friends. The kickers, punters, they go around together at all these different camps and things, and he may have known him. He may not have. If he didn't, that was even a better and bigger gesture. But, it says a little bit about him.
There's not so much personnel on defense. What do you see, what they're doing and what some of the backups have done as they've come in?
You talking about our personnel or LSU?
LSU on defense.
Yeah, LSU, Neil Farrell, their nose guard is really good. I mean, we've got a nice matchup against him, with Ricky. But he's everywhere. Every film he put on, he's making plays. I really like him. I like number 8, BJ. I don't want to mispronounce his name. I like him as a speed rusher a lot. I love their linebackers. Damone Clark runs that defense, in my opinion, 18. He reminds me a little bit of the linebacker that Texas had. that make can run, is physical. Bakersville is second into the Mike. Bakersville is a second leading tackler there. Jay Ward is a guy in the secondary that will pop you. A lot of talent at LSU. They're going to be very, very talented. They'll run a little bit of four-man line, a little bit of movement. They'll rock one way or the other. And then they'll be in there what I call a mint front, where is a true nose and a pair of fours. Do a little bit more of zone stuff out of that, movement, maybe a little bit more too off the edge. They had a great blitz package against Alabama. I mean, just a wonderful blitz package. You didn't know where they were. You would have to watch tape to get some indicators off of where they're coming from. But they put the quarterback from Alabama, in a lot of some hot situations, and so I think they had another week to prepare for that game, and they did a great job on defense. I thought they played extremely hard, very physical, looked like a top 10, top 5 defense in the country against Alabama.
They haven't run it like they really want to run it this year. What do you make of their offense and what they're doing there?
Well, they want to run it, and they're a big counter team. That's the one thing that we have to run the naked boot off of that with Johnson. So they want to establish the run. They're not as much zone as what they were earlier in the year. It doesn't seem to me like they're more of a gap scheme, counter type. They love that play. They should. It's been going well for them. I love this Hines kid, the right guard. I mean, he's big, physical. Man, did he play well against Alabama? DeCoulis has been there forever. I think he's a super senior, but they have 4 of their 5 offensive linemen coming back. Unfortunately, Bradford, I believe, got hurt and's out for the season. But they've got a couple of backs that are quick. I really like 21 and 3, but 21 Kiner has got that Ole Miss type back to him, can make you miss in a phone booth type thing. And of course they always have speed. Starting with Jenkins on the outside, they always have speed. So a lot of counter, a lot of zone, more counter than more gap than zone. They'll run some fly stuff, fly sweep, a lot of nakeds. And then Johnson, with his height and his throwing ability, he can drop back in the pocket. And they're getting better at protecting him as well.
Sam, reading the LSU writers, sound like LSU had not blitzed a whole lot, but in the Alabama game, like you said, they had extra time. They blitzed a whole lot more than they had. What did you see from that, and what are you anticipating?
Well, it worked, so I'm assuming that we'll get that too. We've got to speed up our offense a little bit. I thought we're playing a little bit slow. Saturday we'll speed it up a little bit and try not to let them get into those looks and into those special packages. I think we'll have to be very, very cognizant of how we sub getting to third down so we can keep whom they have on the field, and maybe they can't get to some of those looks as well. But you're right, it looked like a fresher, different team as far as the blitzes were concerned. And so we're certainly anticipating that look versus the zone coverages.
And then Max Johnson, I don't think he played in the game last year. I think it was off Finley. But Max Johnson, their quarterback, what have you seen from him?
He's a competitor. His daddy, I believe, played at Florida State, if I'm correct. But he's a competitive guy, and he's got a really good arm. Got enough mobility to get away from you. They don't use him much as a runner, but he is capable of scrambling and doing those things. But he's got I remember him out of high school, and we tried to recruit him over there at Georgia, and he certainly is smart and running the offense well. And each game he seems to be getting a little bit better. He'll pick you apart if he has time. He's a really good quarterback. They brought in Nussmeier. I believe it was against Ole Miss, and he's proven he can throw the ball too. Maybe a little bit more mobility with him, but I think their guy is Max Johnson. He should be. He's playing good ball.
I guess with Brad on their staff coaching, their offensive line, I mean, does he give them any extra insight into what you do, or at this stage of the season, does it really matter? I mean, everyone knows.
You got a good point. I mean, you're looking at they have nine games on us, so I'm sure they'll do their studying there. I don't know what he might have. We'll know what hurt them when he was here as far as our defense goes, if what might have caused problems for the offensive line when he was coaching here. He'll know our personnel, even our new guys for the most part, except for Big Ridge. He knows Utsi, obviously, from being at Missouri, and he knows Trey. So he'll know our personnel, so he'll know where, at least in their mind, they want to try to attack us. So I don't know that it gives either team much of an advantage, to be honest with you.
Also, as far as just your offensive line, it generally grade out pretty well against Mississippi.
Yeah, I think they were all right in the low to mid 80s, which is pretty good. I used to think if you get to 85, you're playing some good ball. And I believe Myron Cunningham might have been the one that got to 85, but all of them were around that 84, 83 mark. Maybe not quite as high with the guys who jumped off sides. We dock them pretty good for that.
Coach, a lot of historic games between these two programs. Will you talk at all about wanting to bring another trophy home this week? Will you talk about any of those past contests that we all know about?
I don't know that we'll have a lot of conversation about the past games. We certainly do. There's a trophy, and we'd like to have it. And certainly we know LSU would too, but I believe Basil designed it. I think he designs everything, but he designed a trophy. It's a wonderful trophy. It was here 2 of my 3 years when I was here before. Very heavy trophy. But yeah, we'll talk about the boot and probably show a picture of it and things of that nature. We'd like to have it.
Do you plan on signing the full 25? I guess Warren Thompson counts against this class coming up, but where are you guys with recruiting? Is it just depend on players coming back and stuff like that?
I think a lot of it depends on what happens in the portal. I think that, obviously you guys know that you can't go over 85, but you could sign up to 32 if you're continued to stay under 85, as long as 7 of your guys get in the portal. So it's kind of an ongoing situation right now with what we have. We're pretty much maxed out right now. We pushed Ridge, Trey, Utsi, and Warren. We pushed them to this class, which with our current commits, we're pretty full. If we get to a point where the number goes under 85, and at that point, that means that we would be buying back some portal guys, then we could go as high as 32, but that would be a lot of attrition at that point.
Would you be able to borrow from the future class, though, if you wanted to?
I don't know yet. I haven't really looked into that part of it yet. It just depends on what happens in the portal, and I really don't want a whole lot to happen until after the season's over, and we'll sit down and talk to guys and see what they're feeling. To me, again, the portal could be a lot of guys if guys choose to transfer somewhere if they're not playing and they choose to transfer and play somewhere, which I'm 100% fine with.
And I guess you guys plan to go out this week. You plan on, I guess, hitting Louisiana?
Yeah, we just have a couple of guys that we're gonna put out this week, just 2.
It's kind of a stunning stat from that Alabama LSU game. LSU held them to 6 yards rushing.
Six.
Well, I wonder what you thought about that. And also, when I saw the video of you guys calling the Hogs, you were lifting that bowling ball like it was. I haven't bowled in a while, but I think they're pretty heavy. Did you just been working out a lot, or?
Well, all right. So you asked me about what first?
First it was about LSU hold Alabama to 6 rushing yards.
Yeah, the rushing part of it. It gets skewed when the sacks and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Sacks count in college against the rushing stats, not necessarily in the league, in an NFL. But, yeah, I mean, they were all over the place now. They played hard. They played extremely well, and they flew around the ball. They played excited. And I think someone asked me, the first question about Coach O. He had his team. They were rolling. As far as the
bowling ball, you were looking like it was nothing.
Oh, the bowling ball. I tore this, what do you call it, bicep. I tore my bicep muscle. I was doing that silly Yes Sir video at Georgia, and I went down to pick up Lucy like this, and I was going to, she's a bulldog, so I was going to put her in the video. And when I did, it just popped right through here, like a 22 going off, it really did, but I had to get the video out, so my arm was shaking. But anyway, I was a little concerned about lifting the bowling ball because it's heavy, because I've torn this bicep, but I was on adrenaline. It wasn't like it was a 100-pound ball, I don't know how much it weighs, but it seemed to be pretty easy.
Coach Dominique, I think before this past weekend, had only carried it 6 times tops in a game. He had 17 carries this past weekend. Was there any concern about him being able to handle that workload, and how do you think he did handling the increased carries?
No, I mean, we needed to do what we did, and we talked yesterday about what could be his max load. I don't know that there's an answer. You can just feel it, at some point. But I think 17 plus is the number if you're going to rush the ball 40 times. And, of course, KJ ran it 11. You understand what I'm saying. So then you go 17, 28. Now you're down to 12 carries on a 40-carry game. And we've probably been a little bit over that. So I don't know. He was running pretty good at the end of the game, didn't you think? So we could probably give him a few more.
And also, your contract is pretty unique in that with the hitting the 6th win, it kicked in a raise for you. I'm just curious. I mean, was that your idea when you got hired, or was that Hunter, or how did that come about?
No, I think in my contract, it was if you want to earn a raise or whatever. It had a clause in there of 6, 7, and 8, and so we hit one of them.
Was that your idea?
Oh no, I didn't have an idea. I mean, they had a contract and I had a signature. There was no idea about it. He had a laptop and he opened it up and he started reading and I started signing. It's a pretty simple deal.
Judy might have had a little idea, but she was up here with Jamie. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, I did.
What did you think?
I don't know what Jamie's doing up here. She got that one day she asked a question when I think it was at A&M. Jamie became a news reporter, and now she needs to come back here, sit back here, and smile and be happy, and we'll roll out of here together.
I asked her for her autograph after she was up
Jamie?
there. Not Sam. But no,
That's awesome.
Warren Thompson is on scholarship, but did you put Reed Bauer and Vito on scholarship too?
Reed's been on scholarship for a while.
Vito get one?
Vito did last week as well.
Were you guys not kicking for touchbacks? Were you wanting them to return a little? No.
No.
So Vito
We
just didn't.
never want them to return. I want Vito to kick that thing up in the nickel bleachers, which he did the last kick, because me and Fountain's going back and forth, and I guess I'm supposed to say Scott and I will go back and forth, and as you know, the worst thing, there's 21 seconds, you don't want to give him a chance. And Scott said, Coach, he's going to kick it out, and he hit the pad in the back, I think, so he kicked it forever. But I mean, there's a lot of calls right there at the end of the game where you're going, they're hard. I mean, it's hard on old big old heavy man.
That's my love.
Sam, give me your contract. I know you wanted the job regardless,
Yeah.
but that's really betting on yourself, isn't it? When you say, okay, I'm confident I'm going to get 6, 7, 8 wins, so you don't need to give me the whatever. I'll earn it, literally earn it. I mean, was that
Yeah,
kind of known
well,
like
you know, Hunter went over, and I don't think he'll mind me sharing. I mean, he went over the contract, and then he was going over the when you get fired part of it. And I remember I told him, I said, you can go over that if you want to. You're wasting your time. You're not going to fire me. I remember saying that, and he said, well, contractually, you know, or whatever. What do you call that? Legally or whatever. He's got to go over it, you know. But I wasn't listening to it. I saw I'm going to be the head coach of Arkansas, so the rest of it really didn't matter to me, to be honest with you.
But do you feel good? You know,
Yes.
you're showing confidence that I'm going to win these games, so I'm going to get that money. You know, so I don't need
Yeah, and you know, everybody, you know, I don't do a whole lot. I really don't. I, you know, stand down there and whatever. But that's, you know, you hire coaches to help you win games, and then you go recruit players to do that. And really I'm not going to share it with the coaches either, by the way, but that's all of us together. They get their own little bonus for a bowl. They'll be fine. But no, it's all of us, and really a neat deal, you know, from Jamie and I.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, everybody.
We're back and better than ever. A new web interface to start the basketball season and more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline remains your #1 spot for all basketball and football action this season. Head to the new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV 50 to receive your bonus. From basketball, football, and baseball postseason, NHL, boxing, and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.